I'm Tom Harman. I'm a physician, a gynecologist. Used to be an OB/GYN, but now I'm a gynecologist.
And I'm Patsy Harman. I'm a midwife, a nurse midwife, and the author of The Blue Cotton Gown, a midwife's memoir. And we're in Morgantown, West Virginia. There were economic things going on at the university, and Tom was working his butt off, basically, and was one of the junior faculty. And we thought, why, if we're working like private physicians, why don't we just have our own practice? Because we'd have the freedom then to create the kind of atmosphere for women that we believe in. And a university hospital, it's a big bureaucracy, and if you even want to hang a picture on the wall, it goes to committee. Well, you know, because you work in hospitals. So we did. We started our own practice, and at the time, you know, the other faculty really were like, oh, you got to be kidding, because there was a lot going on with the economics of medicine, and it just seemed to everyone else like a really unsafe thing to do. But again, we'd done things before, so we're just like, well, we don't know anything about business, but I guess we can figure it out. So we started our own practice.
It's kind of, what's the worst that can happen is we could not make any money.
We'd end up back in a log cabin or something, which wouldn't be the end of the world. So we started our own practice. It's called Partners in Women's Healthcare, and it refers to us as partners, but us also as partners with our patients, because we believe in that kind of healthcare where we're not the experts. Yeah, we are experts, but we're there to support people in their health choices and to try to teach them and that kind of thing. Has it been about 4 years now? There was a medical malpractice crisis in West Virginia and in lots of states. West Virginia is a small state, and insurance companies can't make a lot of money here. There's not enough physicians that they make much, but we have a lot of lawsuits, and so it's easy for them to lose money here, big awards, and they doubled our rates. It went from, I think, $70,000 to $120,000 a year. So at that point, we decided not to deliver babies. Economics didn't make sense to pay that much so that we could deliver babies.
And we didn't like to, you could make it economically if you delivered lots and lots of babies, but we didn't want to deliver lots and lots of babies, because then you'd wake up and you'd say, is she really my patient? I don't really want to go in, or something like that. You want to have a close relationship with the people that you take care of, so that you want to take care of them. You're excited to have them have their baby and be excited about it and happy and all that kind of stuff, and you know their stories. But if you have 50 patients a month, then you say,
we did, literally. We would, the pager would go off, or the hospital would call, and we would be in bed together, and we'd look at each other and go, do you know who she is? Maybe it's a mistake. When I began to do GYN mostly, I really started listening to the women's stories. And Tom was talking about that before, that each person has their own story and how impressive it is. And in the book that I wrote, you know, one of the things that I felt like I was celebrating is the courage of the ordinary person. Just the lives that people live. And you think, like Tom said, you know, they don't look like people that would be having a terrible hard time or anything. But then they come in the exam room, and, you know, they have a nice sympathetic provider, and you say, so how's your stress level? And they go, roll their eyes. And then you say, so what? What's going on? And then they tell you. And I would walk out of the exam room, and I'd just be like, I can't believe how strong that woman must be to go through what she's going through. This is from my next book. It's called Broken Hallelujah, an Earth Mother's Song, and it goes back to the hippie days and then brings us forward to where we are right now. And the reason I wanted to read this, I think, is we were talking about ordinary people doing things for the world or for their communities. And when we used to be so extreme, I don't think I was as effective or as happy as I am now. And yet, to me, the world seems worse than the 1970s. So part of the theme of this book is about change and how people change and what we take with us from when we were young and what we leave behind. This chapter is called Hope. A huge V of geese flies low over the water and lands on the bay. We're in the side yard of our house on Peely Island, our first trip of May to ready the cottage for renters. The 20-foot tall lilac bushes along the property line are blooming and their scent fills the air. One by one, stars come out in the violet sky, and Tom and I compete with each other to see the next one. We've been singing old peace songs around the campfire. Will every man 'neath his vine and fig tree live in peace and unafraid? How primitive we humans are, with our warring tribes, still thinking we can solve the world's problems of supply and demand with weapons, swords, and spears, and bombs. I stare at the flames flickering orange and green. It's my turn to pick a song. You know, I say to Tom, I can't sing We Shall Overcome anymore. Did I tell you? I guess I don't think we can overcome. I throw him a half smile. He stares at the fire, doesn't say anything, so I go on. I was talking about this with Mara. There's more war around the globe today than when we were active in the peace movement, more poverty. We've pretty well messed up the planet. When I spoke to the bear on the trail, on the bike trail the other day, she said we could change, we could adapt, we could survive. But she might be wrong. Maybe things have gone too far. Tom knows about my fanciful encounter with the black beast, and he laughed when I told him that she brought me a message. My husband shrugs and throws another log on the campfire. The flames shoot up and illuminate his face. He's smiling. Did you really think we could overcome, Pats? Yeah, didn't you? I thought if people stood together for what was right, we would win, like Gandhi. I study my friend. Didn't you? I ask again. Tom kicks the log further into the fire. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. It's like the great Mandela. I hear the song in my mind. Take your place on the great Mandela. He goes on. We just find our place on the wheel of life and do our best. To overcome won't take one generation, but many. The waves slosh up under the break wall, hiss and pull away. I've been thinking I'd like to invest in an energy-efficient heat pump at home and in solar panels for the roof of the house, and maybe a wind generator up here on the island. I know it's not much, but we could maybe get some of the other people in Blue Rock Estates interested in alternative energy. We need another 10-year plan. My head snaps up. You mean like when we left the commune? That was what, 30 years ago? About time for another one, don't you think? Tom takes my hand. Maybe this summer we could invest in a hybrid car, I add tentatively. Or maybe we shouldn't. The economy's a disaster. No one's buying cars. We better hold off. He gives my hand a squeeze. No, we should move ahead. Nothing will change if everyone waits, and we don't have much time. He pulls out a small notepad from the back of his jeans and crouches forward in the firelight and begins to write. I lean on him watching. First the heading, new 10-year plan. Then hybrid car, wind generator, solar panels. What else? Once again we plow into dreams and timelines, but it isn't what's on the list that matters. It's that we're charting a future, moving ahead with hope.
I'm not that much happier now than I was 30 years ago. You know, the stuff that you have isn't what makes you happy. It's your being able to live your dreams.